I had originally planned something completely different for this week's video, but after slipping on an icy patch while skiing 2 weeks ago, hearing a massive pop in my knee and being brought down on a stretcher, which was pretty cool by the way, but even I was a bit too stressed to take a video of that. Plus, the ski patrol probably would have thought I was a complete nutcase had I started taking a selfie for my next YouTube episode while flat on my back in a stretcher being speed carried down the mountain by them. And this is not a joke. It really happened. So given all that, I thought let's talk about health insurance plans this week. Specifically, the pros and cons of a high deductible health plan versus PPO and why you would choose one over the other. Because every time I've walked into a new hospital or doctor's office the past few days since the accident, the first question I've gotten has been, what health insurance do you have? Not,
hi, how are you? Your leg looks broken. What can we do for you?
But
hey, what's your health insurance?
So let's talk health insurance today. And my leg isn't broken, thank goodness, but as of right now, I'm still waiting for more tests to see what's torn, why walking is so painful, and how long recovery will take. This is me right now when I'm not in front of the camera, but at least I can get around and drive short distances. There's no stopping us. For those of you new to us, welcome to Diamond NestEgg, the #1 place to learn about money, investing, and retirement. I'm Jennifer, and I've spent most of my life in finance. Started working at banks like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs at the age of 17 and graduated top of my class from NYU and Harvard Business School, studying, you guessed it, finance and business. And now I work with companies like Bloomberg, WeWork, and Walker Edison, teaching their employees all about financial literacy and education. Please note that Diamond NestEgg is a financial literacy, education, and coaching company, and that I'm a licensed insurance broker. We are not a bank, securities broker, legal, tax, or financial advisor. There are many ways to get health insurance, such as Medicare for the retired, Medicaid, HMOs, self-insurance, and Obamacare. And if you work for the government, you may have a separate plan altogether, but I'm going to leave those for another day. Today's focus is on high deductible health plans and preferred provider network plans. High deductible health plans are lovingly referred to in the industry as HDHPs and preferred provider network plans as PPOs. Both are generally private employer-provided healthcare plans, the two types of health insurance most working-age Americans and their families have today. HDHPs and PPOs come in several flavors or variants and differ mainly along these lines: the deductible, the monthly premium, and the ability to take advantage of an HSA. The deductible refers to how much you have to pay out of pocket, meaning with your own money, before your health insurance kicks in its share. The monthly premium is what your monthly cost of insurance is, and it's typically deducted right out of your paycheck. And finally, HSA. HSA stands for Health Savings Account. This is a tax-advantaged savings account that can be used for medical purposes. We'll get into more details on this shortly when we talk about HDHPs. Unless you're starting a new job soon, most of you won't be making decisions on your health insurance plan until October, November time. But this midpoint that we're in right now is always a good time to reassess how the health plan you chose last year is working out for you right now. And if it's not quite working, meaning you feel your health insurance costs are higher than ideal, then keep watching to see whether you should be making a switch come October, November time. At the end of this video, we'll also give you a few tips on what you can do now to reduce your overall healthcare bill if you find it to be a bit on the too high side. Let's kick things off with HDHPs. HDHPs, as the name high deductible health plan probably gives away, they have a high deductible. Again, the deductible is the amount you have to pay with your own money for covered healthcare services before your insurance starts paying. So for example, I'm getting an MRI on my knee in a few days, and because we haven't been to the doctor since the beginning of the year and haven't paid a single dollar towards our deductible, we'll have to shoulder the full cost of the MRI, which I just found out will be a whopping $1,500 to $2,000. Thank goodness for emergency fund savings. The deductible should not be confused with a copay or coinsurance. Copay refers to a fixed fee, say $10, that you pay out of your own pocket when you receive covered care, like for an office visit or for prescription drugs. And co-insurance refers to a fixed percentage that you have to pay, say 10% of the total bill, instead of a fixed fee like that $10. I'll be using the terms copay and co-insurance interchangeably throughout this video. Copays are typically charged after deductible has already been met, but not always, so read the fine print. So, despite the higher deductibles, HDHPs have increased in popularity over the years. Among employers offering health benefits, the percentage to include an HDHP option has grown from 4% in 2005 to 28% in recent years. If you look at the advantages, it's easy to understand why. Advantage number one of an HDHP is that it has lower monthly premiums. The higher upfront deductible usually means you pay lower premiums month to month. Advantage number two of an HDHP is that it covers all preventative care before the deductible, meaning that an HDHP cannot have copays for office visits or prescriptions prior to the deductible being met. Preventative care includes annual checkups, but also items such as heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, asthma, and everything else on this list. Too bad it doesn't include unexpectedly rolling down a ski slope and needing emergency care over a holiday weekend. Real bummer. Anyway, advantage number three of an HDHP, and probably the biggest one, is its role in getting a bit of tax relief. When you have an HDHP, you're eligible to open a health savings account, an HSA. You don't have this option with a PPO. An HSA is a triple tax-free account. That's right, I said triple tax-free. It's a triple tax-free account that allows you to make tax-free contributions, accumulate tax-free growth, and withdraw your funds tax-free if you're paying for qualified medical expenses. So that MRI that we're going to have to pay for, we're not pulling that money out of our HSA. What we have in our HSA, we just keep in there for the long run so that we can reap its tax-sheltered health savings benefits for our later years. Guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, it would be great if you could give that thumbs up and subscribe button a love tap. Or simply leave us a comment below and let us know which health plan you have and how it's working out for you. YouTube loves all this type of loving, and so do we. Plus, it helps push our video out to others like you who are interested in learning more about how to make the most of their money. Also, pulling this together with a massive knee brace and crutches was no simple feat. Insurance, whether it's health, life, disability, or home, or auto, it's one of those things you hate thinking about and paying for, but are so thankful to have when you actually need it. Moving along, you should also know that some companies even offer an employer contribution on HSAs, so long as you're also contributing. So if you're considering or already have an HDHP, be sure to check with your HR department about this. We don't want you missing out on free money. Take a look at this video over here to learn more about HSAs, their triple tax-free advantage, and why many, like us, are utilizing it as our secret retirement weapon. So back to the HDHP. Once you meet your deductible for the year, an HDHP will typically cover most or all of your remaining medical expenses, excluding the co-insurance that you have to pay. There is a cap on the out-of-pocket amount that you have to shell out, but this varies from plan to plan. For our family, that out-of-pocket maximum is $7,000 if we stay within the HDHP network. Before jumping into an HDHP though, think about your general life and health circumstances. If you're someone that sometimes goes years without hitting your annual deductible, or if you're relatively young and healthy, and if you have a well-funded emergency fund that you can dip into for unexpected medical expenses, plus the option of saving for medical expenses in an HSA, an HDHP could be a great fit for you. On the other hand, if you have a chronic condition, your partner is pregnant and covered under your health plan, or if you have young children who visit the doctor's office like it's a candy shop, this might not be the best option. At the end of this video, we'll give you the 6 questions you should ask yourself to make this decision a bit easier. We've had an HDHP for years, precisely because we don't frequently visit doctors and really like the triple tax advantage of our HSA. We max out our HSA contributions every year and really use it as a retirement tool, as I mentioned earlier. I'll keep you posted as I hear back from our doctors and tally up our medical costs to see if this year will be the one year where this HDHP and HSA option will not be working out in our favor. Now, let's move on to what a PPO is and why you might choose this over an HDHP as just discussed. PPO, again, stands for Preferred Provider Organization Plan. It's sometimes called a traditional plan because it's been around longer than HDHPs have. Advantage number one with a PPO, you have a lower deductible than with an HDHP, which means you have to pay less out of pocket yourself before the PPO kicks in with help on medical expenses. But as I always say, nothing's ever free in life. Because you have a lower deductible, you'll also have higher monthly premiums. Exactly the opposite of an HDHP, which has a higher deductible but lower monthly premiums. Advantage number two with a PPO, you generally have a lower out-of-pocket maximum. If we had gone with a PPO plan, our out-of-pocket maximum would have been $5,000 instead of the $7,000 with our current HDHP. Even though the out-of-pocket maximum is lower with a PPO, this may still be a wash financially by the time you pay all of your higher premiums for the year. I could walk you through how to create a table like this to calculate the cost difference between an HDHP and a PPO, but I can tell you that the vast majority of folks that we work with end up throwing this table into the garbage when they hit the co-insurance section. It's time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game when you start trying to predict how many doctor and pharmacist visits you'll be making in the coming year, which is exactly what you need to do to accurately calculate the co-insurance amounts. So here's what we generally do with our clients instead. We ask them these questions to help guide them on the decision-making process of HDHP versus PPO. Question 1, are you relatively young and healthy? Question 2, do you often go years without hitting your annual deductible? Question 3, do you have zero or relatively few medications that you regularly take? Question 4, do you not have young children and or a pregnant or soon to be pregnant spouse that's dependent on your health insurance? Question 5, do you have a well-funded emergency fund that you can dip into for unexpected medical expenses? Take a look at our videos here to learn more about emergency funds and how to start saving smarter. And question 6, do you want the option of saving for medical expenses in a tax-sheltered HSA that you can possibly use as an extra retirement account when you get older? If you answered yes to all of these, then it's likely that an HDHP might be a good option for you. But as our trademark saying goes, everyone's financial journey is different. If you had some yeses and some nos, or if you have more questions about this topic and want to speak to us about your specific financial circumstances, drop us a comment below or shoot us an email at jennifer@diamondnestegg.com. As I've mentioned, we've had an HDHP for as long as we've moved back to the US, so going on 5 years now. The reason for this is because we don't visit doctors regularly, and we don't often even meet our deductible. Having said that, we couldn't have predicted my massive roll down in Icy Mountain this year. And this year, our HDHP may or may not work out for us. But you know why we still won't be switching? First, I don't expect to be slipping and rolling down icy mountains on a regular basis. In a perfect world, never again. It's just no fun. Second, our HDHP still offers me a broader range of in-network doctors. I'm not super picky about who we go to, but I do like to know that there are 10 options nearby versus 5. See if this is also the case with your HDHP versus PPO. And third, and probably the most important reason, we absolutely love the triple tax advantage of the HSA. I'm a strong believer in saving for retirement, especially when you consider that the current cost of retirement is between $1 and $1.5 million, according to the American Association of Retired Persons. And a third of retiring baby boomers has zero in retirement savings. Check out our retirement videos over here to learn more about HSAs, Roth IRAs, and other retirement savings options that are available to you. And if you're stuck with a health insurance plan right now that's costing you a bit too much, here are 2 things you can try to do immediately, if you're not doing them already, to reduce your healthcare costs before you can switch plans later this year. The first thing is Stick to your in-network doctors. I know that some of you have doctors that you absolutely can't live without. But for the rest of you, here's my story from a few days ago as I was writhing in pain. If I had just taken the doctor's recommendation that the emergency room had given me without bothering to check whether he was in-network, that $1,500 MRI that I'll be getting, it would have cost me 2 to 3 times as much. Also, as a point of reference, our deductible and coinsurance for out-of-network care is 100% to 150% more than in-network. The second thing you can do to lower your current medical costs. This will have less impact than staying in-network, but every little bit helps. If you have recurring medications, see if you can utilize a pharmacy benefit management organization like Express Scripts to fill your prescriptions. You'll have to check with your health insurance plan to see if this is available to you. We found Express Scripts to be more affordable and convenient. The prescriptions are delivered straight to our home when we need it without us having to run to the pharmacy. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We'll be back in a few days with more money-saving, wealth-building tips and strategies just for you.